Is it taping? It's taping. Hi guys, welcome back to yoga in my living room. It's a gorgeous day. I wish so bad that we could be doing this outside together somewhere, but not yet. Not yet, right? Maybe one day soon we can do it. We had some amazing outdoor classes up at the community center on Fairview in the fall. And they were at night and the sun was setting and it was the perfect amount of breeze, and gosh, I wish we were back there. I don't love teaching outside. I hate yoga on the beach. I hate goat yoga. I hate awkward yoga, and those are awkward yoga classes to me. But teaching outside in general, when you've got a nice hard surface underneath you, I would do anything to be doing that right now with a big group of people. So we're going to get started. We're going to jump right in today. I thought we would kind of go back to what we were doing in the beginning and play with sun salutation a little, incorporate talking about the four corners of the feet, because we've been talking about that. I don't know what's going on quite with my hair today. I don't know. I don't know. I just cut Cam's hair, and I'm not so sure about it. He's desperate to dye his hair blue. And I said, sure, why not? It's a pandemic. It's almost summer, sure. But I think I have to really let him do it today to make up for how it actually looks, because I watched a YouTube video on how to cut gentlemen's hair. Didn't turn me into a stylist. So, and Cam has a high forehead, so I can't just buzz the whole thing. He'll look crazy. So he looks kind of crazy now, but it's as good as it's going to get. So anyway, I apologize for my hair. I apologize for Cam's hair if you see us out in public. And we're going to get right into, I apologize for my dog. Not sure what's going on with her. But we're going to jump right into our class today. So you don't need any props. You just need a blanket or a towel to sit up on for the end of class. We'll do a little bit of breath work real quick. And your mat. So unroll your mat, lay on your back. Palms up, arms out, big T, and we're just going to start on the floor for a couple minutes and then get up and move, okay? All right, I hope everyone's good. I hope you're feeling good. I hope you were able to have an interesting Memorial Day weekend, even if it wasn't typical. I hope you had a burger or something. I don't know. We didn't. We had turkey dogs. All right, let's get started. Lie on your backs, palms up, arms out, big T position. Let your feet open up towards the sides of the room so that energetically you're not doing anything. You're just lying here, okay? And you've got yourself positioned so your shoulders start to soften on their own. I'm gonna scoot back. I found a new walking route for the dog and I, and it takes us up a lot of hills. Yesterday we walked a little over 5 miles, and my right knee is feeling a little bit uncomfortable. So I'm going to pay attention to that today as we're going through class. So figure out, starting at the top of your head and working your way down, figure out what it is that you need to give a little extra thought to, a little extra consideration maybe. And as we go through our poses, we'll be moving, we'll be doing a variety of standing poses, maybe a balance or two at the end. But if there's something that's a little bit off that might need a little bit of grace, I guess. As we go through our poses, figure out how you can do that in each pose. You know, like I know for me, with my knee feeling a little funky, as we're going through lunges and warriors, I might not bend as deep on that side so that I don't feel like I'm stressing the knee. I might pull out of it a tiny bit. Some things you can go deeper and they feel better, but when you feel like maybe you've pulled something, usually going deeper isn't the better option. So start at the top of your head. Work your way down. Figure out how you're feeling. Take a quick inventory. It's gorgeous. I love this weather more than anything, but my allergies are on like super high alert, right? I don't know if the rest of you are feeling that way too, but in our house we're having some allergy issues. Start to be conscious of your breathing, right? In through the nose, unless you're too stuffy, in which case mouth breathe, but mouth breathe. In through the nose, draw the breath all the way down into the low belly, into the core. Hold it there for a couple seconds, and then slowly exhale it back up. And then again, inhaling, drawing the breath all the way down, and then slowly exhaling. I feel like a couple times, or maybe more than a couple times over the last few weeks, I've mentioned the importance of figuring out how to move on your own breath, and not necessarily when myself or anyone else, any yoga teacher, any fitness instructor tells you to move. You know, I remember a long time ago, one of my good friends and I, her parents were away for the summer. And we had another friend who was an aerobics instructor. And so for a good time, we would move all the furniture in her living room out to the sides of the room or put them in another room. And then we would do like private aerobic classes with our friend teaching us in her living room on their hardwood floors. And it was very methodical, you know, like you had to move on a certain count. You had to do things at a certain pace. It always had to be, ooh, mailman just knocked on the door. It always had to be done to the teacher's count, or you were totally thrown off. And I'm not good at that. I don't have a lot of rhythm. I'm one of those people in church, I can't clap and sing at the same time. So when something requires clapping, I have to choose. Do I sing or do I clap? And I'm not a good singer either. So, you know, it's kind of a catch-22 what I choose to do. But I'm not good at that kind of thing. And I think that's one of the things that initially drew me to yoga, is that you don't have to be good at that. You don't have to have rhythm. You don't have to be especially graceful. You just have to feel good when you're moving, and try to lose your inhibitions and try to lose your self-consciousness, and just enjoy the process of moving through your poses and gradually getting a little more confident and then maybe some days being really, really awful, but then other days being totally on point. And I think for me, that's one of my favorite things about yoga. So when I'm telling you inhale and exhale, you don't have to move on my cue. It's just a general guide, and it's just because that's what I'd like you to be doing at that time, but not necessarily at the pace that I'm setting for you. So that's all I wanted you to know. All right, pull the knees into the chest, but leave the arms out. So arms stay out, big T, palms up. You engage the core, you pull the knees in. You're gonna drop your legs over to your right. Make sure that the left arm stays long out to your side and flat on the ground. And you're going to look straight up, or you're going to look towards your left hand. I went back to some old, faithful, trusty yoga pants today. These are super, super, super old. I'm fearful that they're getting too old and are going to need to be relegated to like don't leave the house pants, like snow day pants soon. They're super soft. They're like a favorite old t-shirt, and I think they're getting a little too worn in some places. I just yelled at my mom for that the other day. I could see through her yoga pants, and I get it. You know, when you find yoga pants that you love, it's hard to give them up, and they're super comfy and they become like your best friend. But when you can see through them, it's probably time to find a new pair. Yeah. All right, bring your knees up to center. Drop them over to the left. Right arm is going to stay out at your side, palm up, with the whole length of the arm flat on the ground. I hope the traffic isn't too loud for you. We live on Ridge, and it's busier than it was a few weeks ago. The number of cars is going up, I think, every day. It was like a ghost town, a month ago or 6 weeks ago. It's getting a little bit busier. I don't know how I feel about that. But I hope it's not too loud. So if it seems like it is, I'll shut the window. All right, bring your knees up to center. You're going to come into either happy baby, reaching for your big toes, the outer edges of your feet, or put one hand on each knee and just go wide. And I think I've said this to you a bunch of times, but keep in mind that what you choose to do in the very beginning of a class, you can totally shake it up. You don't have to do that same thing when we do the same pose at the end of class. So if right now your hips are tight, your hamstrings are tight, your shoulders are tight, then just put one hand on the outside of each kneecap and let the weight of your arms pull you wide. But maybe at the end of the class, when all those things are a little bit looser and a little bit more comfortable, then maybe you'll want to go into a more traditional happy baby. It's up to you. Either one is good. All right, feet to the floor, knees bent. Widen your feet and let your legs tower in towards one another. So the knees are leaning against each other, but your feet are wide. So you don't have to put any effort into this, and the knees stay upright. Arms are out in the big T. And again, just take a couple more breaths. We're going to get up and move in just a second. It's always nice to start with a few minutes of just stillness, though, I think. I say that stuff and that's how I feel, but that's not necessarily how everybody feels or how everybody teaches. But I always appreciate that quiet because, I have 2 kids and life is hectic, and, my husband's job schedule is hectic, and we're typically always on the go. We haven't been for the last 73 days, which, if everything awful wasn't going on in the world, it would have been a really nice break. But unfortunately, with the number of people that have been sick and have passed away, that puts a damper on the break. But life slowing down and being forced to slow down has been really nice for us. So typically in normal lifetime times, I really value those couple of minutes at the beginning of class to be still. More so than even at the end, because at the end I'm usually energized and kind of ready to go and get on with my day. I have a hard time with Shavasana. But in the beginning of class, I like that time to just sit and do nothing. So, roll over to your right. Press yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Bring your legs out wide. Shimmy off the edge of the blanket or the towel that you're sitting on so that you're sliding off and you're just about to fall off, but at the same time you're able to sit up a little straighter and a little taller, right? So point and flex your feet. Stretch out the tops of your feet. All right, arms are going to come up. Don't crunch around your ears. And as we inhale, we're going to start to fall forward, coming down to wherever we're comfortable. So for me, my first comfort step is my forearms. For you, it might be lower than that, or it might be higher than that. But wherever it is, as long as you're feeling a lengthening in your low back and in the backs of your thighs where your hamstrings are, then you're doing the right thing. I hate when I look down and I see something on my mat. That's always a pet peeve of me. For a while, there was a piece of green glitter on my mat. And no matter how many times I took it off and put it to the side while I was teaching or practicing, it would always seem to end up back on my mat. And for weeks, I couldn't get rid of this piece of green glitter because, glitter is the grossest thing in the whole world. You can't get rid of it ever. But it was just drawn to my mat like a magnet. It was awful. I mean, certainly there are worse things in the world, but it was a pain. Maybe not awful. It was a pain. Walk your hands up. Now we're going to do what we did the other day. We're going to stay in our wide-legged pose, but we're going to open up our hips and our pelvic area a little bit by just making a slow circular motion with our upper body in our pelvic girdle. So your hands come to rest on your knees. I'm going clockwise to start with, but if organically you started just going in the other direction, that's totally fine too. And you can go as big or as low or as comfortably, down behind you as you want. You just want to feel like you're rotating the pelvic area a little bit. You're mixing things up like a big mixing bowl. We're going to come back to center and we're going to go in the other direction. I just heard a good crack in my back. I feel lucky. Keep mixing. Now let's see if we can go a little bit lower here and a little further behind us. So a little lower, a little further behind us. And then one more time in the other direction. And again, a little bit lower and a little bit further behind us. Super simple. Unless you have real back issues, this shouldn't bother you. It should almost be a little bit of a moving meditation. Some poses are like that when you can mindlessly move through them, and this is one of those poses, I think, for me. So now we're going to come back to center and we're going to go down towards the middle one more time, but we're going to see if we can find a slightly more comfortable spot that goes a little bit deeper. So even if you go like ½ inch lower, a ¼ inch lower than you did the first time, then you're doing good. So arms up, big breath in, and as you exhale, start to fold forward. Chest goes towards the floor. And then once you've planted and once you're as low as you can go, then you start to round a little bit and drop your head. One more breath in. And come on up, walk your hands up. Perfect. Adjust your sports bra if you need to. We're getting into that warmer weather where my everyday wardrobe consists of a sports bra. I like the kind that crosses in the back, and then some kind of tank top. And this is not one of my favorite tanks, but it was on top of my laundry, so that's why I'm wearing it. But my tank crosses in the back twice, and my sports bra crosses once, and it's just a lot of straps. I kind of like a slightly cleaner look, like a traditional tank with just maybe one cross in the back. I don't know. They've gotten a little crazy with like super thin straps, and like I think I have one that's like 3 straps and they cross in different places in the back. I mean, if you taught outside all the time, imagine the tan lines. I can't even wrap my head around that. So we're gonna get up. We're gonna come onto hands and knees. Move your blanket to the side, move your towel to the side, whatever you're using, move it to the side. And as always, get your hands in the front corners of your mat so that you have lots of room behind you to lift up. Okay, we're gonna start to cat and cow. So on an inhale, and again, you do this at your own pace, but you do it like I'm telling you. Inhale, drop your head, press your back up. Exhale, arch your back and look up. That's what I want you to do. I want you to move on your breath, but I want you to move on the pace of your breath, not me telling you, okay? So start to cat and cow. Arch your back dramatically when you do this. So you really get like a release from your mid back out through the tailbone. Couple more. And from here, we're going to curl our toes under, go right into our first downward facing dog, okay? So spread your fingers, curl the toes, lift the hips. And then move around however you need to make this feel good. I like to drop my heels. I like to check my stance by coming into a plank. I like to press back and go high with my hips. And then drop my heels again and get a big lengthening in my hamstrings. You can go onto the sides of your feet here if you want to play a little bit and let your hip drop. And then do the same thing on the other side and just kind of stretch out the hips a little bit differently. Come on down, hands and knees. And you're going to go into your wide knee child's pose. So you're going to sit with your big toes together, knees going out to the sides. If you look between your legs, you can see your big toes touching. And then you're going to walk your arms out in front of you, bring your forehead or chin or chest or all three down to the mat. All right, come on up. Downward facing dog. We're going to walk our feet all the way up to meet our hands and come into a standing forward bend at the front of our mat. So take little steps. See if you can keep your legs straight. You might need to go into your fingertips like I did. Drop your head, cross your arms. Let the back of your neck release all the way down and relax. All right, 3 flat backs. Inhale up. And remember, with your flat backs, you have 2 options, right? You can bring your hands to the top of your knees, or you can leave your fingertips on the floor and just walk them out a little bit. Exhale and fold. Inhale up. Exhale and fold. And one more time, inhale up. Exhale and fold. The way you pick the option that's best for you during that day or that practice is you go with the one that allows you to lengthen out from your low back through the crown of your head the best. So sometimes for me, it's this one because I can really arch my low back if it's tight. Sometimes for me, it's this one if I really want to play with my shoulder blades a little bit more. So you figure out how your back is feeling, and then you decide which flat back to do. So fingertips to the floor, left foot back, long lunge. Now, again, this is where you want to determine how you're feeling in all your big joints and what you're going to play with today. You know, like my right knee is feeling just a little bit funky, a little bit pulled, and I tend to hyperextend that and then have like a day or two where it doesn't feel great. And I think that's what I did yesterday. So I'm going to do everything you're doing. I'm just going to do it maybe to a lesser degree on that side. So we're in a lunge. We're on the ball of the back foot. We're going to come higher, bring our hands onto our front thigh. Nice deep breathing here. Drop the shoulders, roll the head of the arm bones back, palms forward, heart center, your chest is going out in front of you. Smile. Ooh, my knee just clicked. Nice big breath in. Exhale, bring the hands to the floor. Step back into your downward facing dog. Y'all, I'm cracking all over the place today. My ankle just cracked. Come on forward into a plank. Engage the core. One more breath. Back into your dog. We're going to walk the feet all the way up to meet the hands, standing forward bend, front of the mat. Now remember what I said about your flat back. So you can decide which one is best for you based on how you lengthen out from your low back. So drop forward. And then inhale up, find your flat back. Exhale and fold. Inhale up. Exhale and fold. One more time, inhale up. Exhale and fold. Right foot back. Long lunge. We're going to start by just hanging out here for a second, getting our stability, hugging everything into that imaginary dotted midline, right? That's where we get our strength from. See, I don't love this tank too because it's split high on the sides. I don't like that. I'm a finicky yoga clothing person, even though that's all I wear. Arms roll back, palms forward, head of the arm bone, the shoulder bumps back, and then down. Nice deep breath in. Exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Back into downward facing dog. Let's come forward into plank. Engage the core. One more deep breath in. Exhale the breath. Drop the hips to the floor. Find your high cobra here. Unclench your butt. Nice big full breath in. Exhale, lower all the way down, and we're gonna windshield wiper our legs. You might need to inchworm back, and then windshield wiper your legs. Okay, so we're going to play with our quads for just a second. Prop yourself up with your left forearm. Bend up your right leg. Hand goes straight out in front of you. Thumb down, palm out. Big motion, reach for the inside of the right foot. And just gently pull it down. Make sure you can bend your elbow in towards your midline. Pull the foot a little out to the side and a little bit down. It doesn't take much to feel this in the quad, and you just want to feel a lengthening along the length of your thigh. Doesn't have to be a big, huge deal. Just, just something. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So you're going to switch your support arm. Your right forearm is going to become your support arm. Left arm comes out in front, thumb down, palm out. Big motion inside of the left foot. And again, make sure you can bend your elbow in towards your midline and just pull. A little out to the side, a little bit down. You don't want to touch your hip with your heel unless that's like super easy and natural and comfortable for you, in which case you're kind of a freak. No, I'm kidding. You're not, kind of. But you just want to feel this, like I said, along the length of the quad. All right, head down, windshield wiper the legs. Remember in the beginning a couple minutes ago I said some poses are like meditative poses? This is one of those. Just this simple windshield wiper. You can lay on your stomach and you can just do this for endless periods of time because it's just one of those soothing motions. It's like, you know, like when you have a baby and you're constantly holding that baby and sort of moving a little from side to side like a gentle rocking motion, and then your baby's suddenly 5 and in the grocery store line you're still doing that gentle rocking, moving side to side motion. I do all the time. I still move that way all the time. I think it's just something that soothes the baby, but it also soothes you. And some yoga poses are like that. Okay, feet down behind you. Plant your hands, spread your fingers. You're gonna press down through the balls of your feet as well as your hands. Lift your hips, come on up into dog. Nice deep breathing here. We're going to walk the feet all the way up to meet the hands, standing forward bend in front of your mat. Remember what I said, if you need to go up onto your fingertips to create space to get the feet up there, then do that. And then cross at the arms, elbows, and hang. Release your hands to the floor and then slowly roll up vertebrae by vertebrae until you're standing. And as always, adjust your clothing as you go. Okay, so we're going to come up to the front of our mat. This is feeling super good. I don't know about you all, but it's feeling super good for me in my hamstrings today and in my low back. So that's what I'm appreciating. So we're gonna stand with our feet hip width apart towards the front of our mat. The left leg is gonna step back about 1.5 feet, and we're gonna angle that back foot like a warrior leg. Hands come to the hips, and you're just gonna turn your hips forward manually so that you know how they should feel when they're facing forward, and then you're gonna keep them forward. Lift the toes on the front foot so that you engage that calf muscle. Inhale the arms up. And as you exhale, lengthen out from the tailbone. Come to a flat back here. And then go all the way down, fingertips to the floor on either side of the foot. Keep the toes lifted. And then drop the head, release the back of the neck. One more good breath in. Exhale. So now release the toes on the front foot. Walk the hands out so that they're about 1 foot away from the front foot. Come onto the pointer, the toe of the back foot. And then lean into the hands and the standing leg. Lift the back leg, flex the foot. Big breath in. Exhale. You're going to step all the way back into a long lunge. Hands come up. And we're going to go high with this one. Bending into the back knee, bending into the front knee on the ball of the back foot, so it's a little bit of a balance pose. Got it? And then hands to the floor. Straighten the front leg a little. Bend into the back knee and step up to meet the front foot. Cross your arms at the elbows. Drop your head. Now we're going to come up to 3 flat backs. Inhale up. Exhale and fold. Inhale up. Exhale and fold. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale and fold. Now the right foot's going to step back about 1.5 feet with the toes angled. You are going to come all the way up, pull up the toes of the left foot so that that foot is pressing into the 4 corners, the big toe mound, pinky toe side, inner heel, outer heel. Manually turn your hips, so hands to your hips. So rather than have your hips face this way, have them face straight on to me, right? And you can do that with your hands in this one. Toes are high. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, reach forward as you go. Come to a flat back. And then exhale and fold all the way down. One hand on either side of the front foot. Toes are going to stay high. Now drop the toes, walk the hands out about 1 foot. Come on to the big toe of the opposite foot, the right foot. Lean into the hands, lean into your standing leg. Launch the back leg up behind you, flex the foot. And then step it back into a long lunge. Hands come up onto the front thigh. So graceful, all of it. Bend into the back knee. And when you're ready, bring the arms up, sit high into your lunge. Nice big breath in. Exhale the breath. Hands come to the floor. We're going to step back into dog. Inhale forward into plank, engage your core. One more inhale. Exhale, drop the hips to the floor. Find your high cobra. Unclench your butt. And then from here, we're going to press back into our wide knee child's pose. So hips go back. Knees go out to the sides. Big toes come together. Hips press back. Spine lengthens at the same time. Forehead, chin, chest down to the floor. Arms out in front, right? Okay, so I think just for fun, to kind of wrap things up, we're going to do one more big pose. I don't believe we've done it during our pandemic yoga. New Starbucks cup. Changes color when you put cold stuff in. I don't really care about that at all, but my favorite Starbucks cup I cracked the other day, and when I was in the drive-thru yesterday, I saw this box of 5 similar ones, except their colors. Mine was always clear, but they were like 5 for just double the price of what I paid for one. So I bought them, but now they change color when you put ice in them, which I'm not sure I like. But I'm just so happy Starbucks is open, I don't care. So I'm going to turn my mat. You don't necessarily need to. You're gonna have to listen a lot to my instruction for this, because normally, you know what, I will do it once and you watch, and then you'll do it, okay? So we're gonna start. I don't know, is my whole mat in the screen? I hope. We're gonna start with just a basic downward facing dog, and then we're gonna roll onto the outside of our, we'll go to our right, so we'll roll onto the outside of our right foot. We're going to step our left foot behind us for support, and then we're going to lift our left arm up, swing it behind us, and come into this big, beautiful back bend. So if this is too much for you, and it might be, I'm not sure I should even be teaching you this right now because I'm not there to help anyone. You're not going to get hurt doing it. If you fall, you fall. Just follow along with me and see what you can do, okay? It's just yoga, right? It's not a big deal. So we're going to come into dog. And then we're going to come into a side plank. So side plank, I'm going to go onto the outside edge of my right foot. I'm going to balance with my right hand. And I'm going to step my left foot behind me, extend my right leg out, left arm up, find a little back bend. And then I'm going to come back to my dog. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so I'm going to roll on my left outside edge. Right foot behind me. Right arm up, 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 reach, reach, reach. And then back into my dog. Okay? So, let's try that. This is when pandemic yoga doesn't translate so well because I want to see you do it and I can't. So, everyone come into downward facing dog. Got it? Roll onto the outside of your right foot. So I'm going to do this as I talk you through it. Roll onto the outside of your right foot. Step the left foot behind you, bend the knee, and extend the left arm straight up. And then go for a little angle. And then bring it back. Find your dog. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so now you're going to roll into the outside of your left foot. Your right foot is going to step behind you, bend that knee, and then swing the right arm up, over, reaching either for the wall behind your head or a little bit angled. This is a tricky one to do this way. I apologize if it's not working well for anyone. Probably should have kept it simpler, but I wanted to give you something fun to challenge you with, and this is a good pose for that. So don't be hard on yourself if it's not going well. It doesn't have to. Right? What do I tell you all the time? It's just yoga. It's just adult playground fun. Okay, so come on down onto hands and knees. Let's go right into a couple cat and cows. Moving on your breath. Okay. Make your way onto your back, okay? I can't even imagine how that's going to translate onto camera. I apologize if you saw my white belly. I don't know if my tank top went up or not. These pants are kind of high-waisted, so maybe not, but I don't know. If you did, you did. Lay on your backs, arms out, palms up. I think that's a good ending point for today, right? If you're doing this in your house and you've got windows up, it's a little bit warm, right? I know that I'm a little bit sweaty. I hope you are too. Not hot yoga, but still moving yoga, right? Gets your heart going a little bit. Makes you feel like you're doing something fun. Close your eyes and find your breath. If you've been hanging in with me for the last 19 yoga classes that we've done virtually, then you know when I say find your breath, it just means go to your yoga breathing, your nose in and out. And without putting too much pressure on yourself, try to just consciously breathe very rhythmically, very smoothly, very meditatively, like we said earlier. But just slow everything down, right? You know, when you're out getting your cardio in, when I'm walking up Rugby or going up and down that driveway behind the grocery store here in town, you can't really regulate your breath very much. At least I can't. There's a lot of like dog panting that goes on, and that's okay. But when you're finishing a yoga class or you're even working your way through a yoga class, you want to try to be a little bit smoother with your breath because it slows down everything, right? It slows down your respiratory system. It's good for your blood pressure. It's good for whatever ails you, right? You bring all that to yoga, and then you want to try to use the yoga to maybe make some things a little tiny bit better. So lay here, close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling. Regardless of what you did in class today, thank you for showing up. Thank you for giving it your best effort. I know that you did. I appreciate it. I appreciate that you allow me into your homes twice a week to practice with you. And you know, you guys have motivated me as well because I always have some sort of yoga going on. Sometimes it's as simple as a forward bend or a wall dog when I'm in the shower. But it's been really great for me as well throughout this whole stay-at-home time to practice with you. And so I appreciate that motivation on your part. And I hope you're getting a lot out of these classes and that they're always leaving you feeling good. That's all I ever want for you, is that you leave feeling good. So take another deep breath or two. And then when you're ready, pull your knees in, roll over to your right, press yourself up to a comfortable seated position, or just hug the knees in and rock yourself up to sit. Hands come to your heart in prayer. Press your palms into one another so that the elbows lift a little bit on their own. Take a nice big full breath in. Exhale the breath. And one more inhale. And exhale. Namaste. Thank you guys. I hope you had fun. I hope that last pose wasn't discouraging for anybody that's newer to yoga. You know, yoga starts wherever you are. So whatever you bring to your practice, that's good enough. You know, so maybe we'll play with that pose a little bit more, so that if you're newer to yoga and you didn't love that, you can feel a little bit better about it as we practice a little bit more together. We'll see. But I think when we meet again next on Saturday morning, we'll do some balance poses, some standing balance poses. We did them a while ago, but you know, they're just fun to play with. They're poses that you have to show grace towards yourself for, because if you're having an unbalanced day, even if you're normally amazing at tree, you may not be next Saturday for some reason. I don't know, global pandemic, I don't know. But I think that's what we'll do the next time we're together. So you don't need any props, you'll just need your mat, and I will see you Saturday. Okay? Take care, guys. Thank you so much for letting me into your homes again. See you soon. Bye.